Hi folks, Mike from Kiravans here again, and today we have got diesel heaters to look at. Now Kiravans sell this particular model. It's a 2 kilowatt diesel heater and we get them supplied by a company called MV Heating here in the UK. Let me just show you what's in the box and explain a little bit about diesel heaters while I do that. So if you've got a van or a camper van, you're probably aware that when the temperature drops, it drops pretty quick in your van because there's no heat source once you're parked up. So you have a couple of options on how to extend your season almost to make the van more versatile through the spring, autumn and even into winter if you want to use it all the year round. You need a heat source. You could have a gas heater which would require a separate gas bottle, so you need to constantly make sure you've got enough of that. You could, if you have mains hook up in your van and you always stay at a campsite, you could just have a cheap electric blow heater, which would also do the job. But for more versatility, I always think a diesel heater like this one is one of the best answers. So the actual unit itself looks like this. Just take that out. So this is the heater unit, and I'll quickly explain how they work. This can be mounted either inside the vehicle, usually under the driver's seat or something like that, or you can mount it underneath the vehicle. Again, under the driver's seat is a good location. We do get asked, does it not, get wet and splashed and muddy under the vehicle? But actually on these VW T5, T6 vans, there's quite a large void under the seat, which it sits up. It gets bolted to one of the chassis members, and then there's already a plastic cover with a big space under it, so it remains really well covered up in there, so it's fine. I've always put mine under the vehicle and not had any problems. You've got two pipes underneath. One sucks in fresh air from outside for combustion, and the other one expels the exhaust fumes outside the van. So you've got a combustion process which sucks in air. There's a little flame which heats up the metal block. Then there's a fan inside which pulls in the cool air in your van and blows out the hot air. So it's a completely nice and clean process, if you like. You're not having a gas burner going off in the van producing lots of condensation. And this draws diesel from your diesel tank. So in that respect, you're unlikely to run out of fuel. It's not like trying to keep a gas bottle filled up all the time. How much fuel do they use? Well, I did a bit of research, and on average they say about 100 millilitres per kilowatt per hour. Now that's on maximum power, so for a 2 kilowatt heater you might be looking at about 200 millilitres per hour of diesel if you've got it cranked right up. But to be honest, you only ever turn them up when you first get into the van to take the edge off the cold, and after that, once your van's up to temperature, you tend to turn them right down. So I've never noticed the diesel needle on the dashboard going down or anything like that. It really is a very small amount of fuel that they use. So they're very efficient, they're very safe. They don't make an awful lot of noise, especially if they're mounted outside the vehicle. They come with a full kit for installation, and we've spec'd these for the Volkswagen van. So, obviously you can buy cheaper heaters on eBay. There's a lot of factories in Russia and China now producing cheaper versions, but they quite often don't have all the components. So everything is in here, all labelled up that you need. Fuel pump, you've got your controller there, you've got your ducting, your cabling. There's a little silencer as well to make the exhaust gases a bit quieter. So you've got all your bits that you need to install it. The only decision you've got to make is whether you want to have a go installing it yourself, which can be done. I have done a separate video of me installing one. And if you're quite practical and you don't mind working on your vehicle, you've got to jack it up. You've got to drop down the fuel tank and install the fuel, this sort of pipe into the fuel tank, which then sends it off to the heater. So you can watch the video and see if you think you want to give that a go. If not, you can take it to a professional to get it installed. Either way, I think it's a really good investment to make in your vehicle. This is the bracket, the under van mounting bracket. If you install it inside the vehicle, you choose a slightly different option and you get a different bracket. So that's pretty much a good overview of these things. I would thoroughly recommend them. Electricity-wise, you do need a 12-volt supply, but it's only used to spark, make the flame spark initially, and then to run that small fan, which is going to blow the hot air around the van. So you don't really notice a lot of electricity draw. And if you've got a decent leisure battery, you'll not have any problems. I could quickly run through some more benefits. They're quiet, cheap to run, heat up very quickly. One other thing, although they are super reliable, we very seldom get any problems from customers with these. If you do need to replace any parts going forward, the parts from MV are considerably cheaper than, say, for example, from a Webasto or an Eberspacher dealer. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you've got any more questions, certainly drop us a line, give us a call at Kiravans. And hopefully that will have helped to just educate you a little bit more in how to keep your van warm. It does make a big difference. There's nothing worse than sitting in a cold van, and it just makes that season of use longer, so you can get out there and enjoy your van for a greater amount of time. Anyway, hope that's helped, and I shall see you next time. Thanks now.